Hello, I'm Harmony and I'm 29 years old this year. So back in 2016, I graduated from NUS with a degree in business administration. More specifically, I was studying accountancy, and I was very fortunate and blessed because I landed myself a job in the Big Four, which back then a lot of graduates wanted to go to. And I was working in Ernst & Young for about 1 year. And just my first year, I was very blessed and lucky because I was posted to Chicago in the United States for my overseas assignment, and I was very excited, just like most other fresh grads out there, doing the best of what I can do. However, I knew also that the nature of the job wasn't really something that I liked, and I couldn't see for myself the tangible effects of what I did in my daily life, in my job, what effects it had on anything or any other people besides doing what I was doing. And this fact, as well as some circumstances, more specifically my dad not being in the best of health, led me to consider other alternative careers that I might want to venture into. So I made a career switch in 2017 after 1 year, after much hesitation, doubt and consideration. I made a switch from being an auditor in Ernst & Young to being a funeral director in the funeral trade. It is not an easy journey, this entrepreneurship journey, this whole career change, it was a very difficult decision back then. However, I'm proud to say that I do not regret my decision. Fast forward now in 2022, I'm pretty sure that what I did back then in hindsight was what I needed to do for my own personal growth. And although it was a very difficult decision because even my very own mother was not very supportive of me being in this trade, because you do not really have to have a specific degree to be in this particular trade. And I spent 4 years in uni studying so hard for an accountancy degree, so she was hoping I would really flourish in the corporate world, climb the corporate ladder just like any other daughter. But little did she know that I would choose a path that was less traveled. So I'm here to share with you my entrepreneur journey. Hopefully it can bring some insights into your life and help you make certain decisions in life. If you are thinking of a career change, I will probably give you 3 pointers. So the first point number 1, is to have sufficient savings to last you for at least a year. Back then when I made the switch from being in the corporate world to the funeral trade, I was given a pay cut of about half of the amount I was earning. So whatever I earned in the first year in the funeral industry was about half of what I earned in the Big Four. So that's not a lot to survive on, and I really had to crack my brain juice as to how to save as much money as possible while still sustaining my day-to-day expenses. And traveling can be also quite an expense, especially in this trade, because you have to be at the designated location at a very short span of time. Okay, so have enough savings before you plunge into something new. I had enough savings for myself for about 1 year, and spend within your means for that 1 year, especially when you are trying to carve out something on your own. Point number 2 is to fix a timeline, a set time for yourself, for you to try out the new career. So for myself, I gave myself 1 year, which is 12 months, and I think this duration is a sweet spot. It's neither too short nor too long. If you give yourself too short a time, you are more likely than not to give up at the first sight of trouble, because it's so easy to give up, especially when you're trying something new, so scary, so uncertain. And if you give yourself too long a time, you may be complacent and you're not doing as much as you should to achieve what you need to achieve. So I was quite strict with myself, and of course discipline as well. I gave myself 1 year, and I told myself if 1 year this is not working out, I'm going to go back to the probably accounting industry and start from scratch again. But admittedly, I have a lot lesser to lose because I was only in the accounting trade for 1 year. So even if I were to start from scratch again, it wouldn't be that much. There were some people, some friends, who advised me against coming into the funeral trade so early on in my life, because they felt that I should have more corporate experience first, since I was in the Big Four and it is not that easy to get in back then. However, in hindsight, I am quite glad that I made the decision to do the career switch at a young age, because firstly, I have a lot more energy when I was like 23, 24 compared to now at the age of 29. I can literally feel the energy difference, right? I mean, I'm sure you too, but with regards to not just the energy levels, it's also about your commitments. At a young age, we were all more carefree. There are lesser commitments, lesser financial liabilities to think about, so you can really focus on your task. So if you are thinking of a career switch, I think age, being young, shouldn't stop you from going into a new career if that is really what you want to do after thinking it through. Okay, and give yourself a fixed timeline, commit yourself to that. Make sure you do monthly reviews, quarterly reviews to ensure that you're on the right track and to see that, okay, this is for me or not for me, and don't be afraid to pull out after 1 year if let's say it's really not for you, because a lot of us, after 1 year, if we have invested so much time and energy, we feel that, oh, we shouldn't give up, we should continue even though there are no results. It's up to you to really think about it, but that's called the sunk cost fallacy, because we shouldn't put too much emphasis on whatever we have done for something to decide on the present thing, because it's not going to be very helpful. We should be more forward looking, and that would help us in our decision making process as well. Okay, you can read up more about sunk cost fallacy. It's quite an interesting concept if you haven't heard of it before. The third thing that I want to share with you is to not have a backdoor for yourself if you have decided to make a career change. So back then when I wanted to try out the funeral trade, I think my uncle told me to try doing part-time first during the weekends, but I was thinking to myself, if I'm going to have a 9-to-5 job during the weekdays and then just try this out on the weekends, how serious can I be, or how much effort or energy do I have to invest in this new venture, right? And it took me a while, because of course having a 9-to-5 Monday to Friday job would give me a lot more security in terms of money, in terms of knowing that even if I do fail in the funeral trade, there's something to fall back on. But I'm glad that I made the decision to just throw whatever I have and enter the funeral trade entirely, because that's when I managed to give myself a chance to try in this new career 150%, because when you do not have an exit strategy, that's where you put your whole heart and soul into it. So I really worked my ass off every single day for about a year, learning the ins and outs, learning the different rituals, different religions, different customs. It was really hard work, sheer hard work, and I will share more about the challenges of being in this trade, which I think might be some challenges might actually be applicable universally when you make a career switch. I will share more in the following series, but today I'm here just to tell you 3 tips on what things you might want to consider, like tips for you to think about when you want to make a career change. It's not an easy decision, but once you have decided and set your mind to it, do not give yourself an exit strategy. Do not listen to any naysayers. Choose to be positive, at least for the time frame that you have set for yourself. To be fair for yourself, so you're giving yourself a chance to really try out in something that might potentially bring about so much more in your life. For myself, I actually went in full time. So like I was saying, I really put in a lot of effort, and if you know that making a career switch is something that you want and you're very clear, please do not let anybody else's words bring you down, because at the end of the day, you're answerable only to yourself. This is your life. You get to choose how you want it to live. You get to live how you want it to be, and you should not let anybody else's opinion affect how you live your life, because at the end of the day, 10 years down, 20 years down the road, you're gonna look back at yourself and thank yourself for whatever you're doing now. And all these comments, whatever people have, they're not gonna matter as much as what you think now or how you feel now. So please do not let your life be dictated by other people's opinions, because that's something that a lot of us tend to fall into, which I always remind myself consciously not to, because at the end of the day, like I said, you're answerable to yourself. As long as you know you have given your best and you have made the decision that you deem best at that point in time, there's no regrets, because at the end of the day, if you succeed or even if you do fail, it's still an experience that you choose to go through in your life. And we all choose to live our life the way we want it to. We do not have to live it according to someone else's way or how society thinks that we should live our life. Yeah, so at the end of the day, as long as you are clear about what you want, you have your goals, and you have a safety net, enough savings for yourself, you're content to also scrimp and save. To be very honest with you, the first year was very tough because of the pay, but I also scrimped and saved a lot. Those who know me would know that I tend to save on meals when I can, or even clothes. I'm thankful for my friends who actually passed me down clothes for the first year. It's good to have a community of friends who are supportive of what you do as well. So find that friend and keep them close to you, because at the end of the day, friendships and relationships are what really matters. And fast forward in 2022 now, I do not regret the decision, the career switch that I've made. In fact, I am very happy where I am now. I think this 6 years has been a learning journey for me. I've progressed, I've advanced so much. I think much more than I would ever have if I had stayed in the corporate world. I've seen so many things, and I'm very thankful for the experiences. I'm very thankful for kind people I've met along my journey as an entrepreneur, who have gave me valuable advices, who have nurtured me, who have also helped me in various ways. So I'm very thankful, and I managed to set up a company called Harmony Funeral Care. That's another journey to share. I managed to also build a team of very supportive staff who are sharing the same vision of me, who have the same dream as me of serving the community, of being Singapore's funeral care provider that people will reach out to in times of need. I think all this doesn't happen by chance, even though it might seem easy on social media, or it might seem easy, but it takes a lot of hard work and years of hard work, and it's not a overnight thing. So I'll be sharing more with you also on my journey, but if you happen to have any questions, please feel free to just ask, and I'll try my best to answer them. And I hope you find this short video useful, especially if you're thinking about whether to make a career switch. I hope these tips will help you in one way or another, and even in life. Yeah. So thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and please remember to like, share and subscribe if you find this useful. Thank you.